you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now.
A new pitcher for Mexico, Santan Valley, Arizona, University of Washington left-hander Lindsay Lopez, who has pitched 9 1/3. Her record is 1-1, given up 5 runs on 9 hits, struck out 9 and walked 2. And dealing with catcher Sarah Gordon, who's a very versatile player. Had a great year in 2023 at the University of Louisville. And it was a little tougher going at the University of Georgia, where she transferred to this past season. She grounded out to Jillian Solis her first time up. Changeup of high quality from Lindsay Lopez, who pitched 6 innings of shutout ball against the Philippines and was hit pretty hard by Canada on opening day evening. Gave up 5 runs on 7 hits in 3 1/3 as she works against Triple Crown Colorado, who have a grand slam home run from Katie Stewart that blew the game open in the bottom of the 3rd. Her second grand slam, and Lopez with another quality changeup to strike out Sarah Gordon. So a good entry into the game for Lopez, who at the University of Washington this year was 10-3, a 3.19 earned run average, and 87 2/3, struck out 69 and walked 30. Change up again. This one to center fielder Kaylee Wickoff, looking for her first hit of the game. She has 6 of them in 14 official at-bats at this tournament, and almost took one off the left arm, or I guess the right arm. 407 at Texas Tech this year, 12 doubles, 2 triples, 7 home runs, and 35 runs batted in. All Big 12 first team. She was also the 2023 Big 12 Freshman of the Year. Texas Tech's Red Raider is Kaylee Wickoff. And she was here last year, too, where she batted 6 for 23. Better this time around. And Lopez with a good rise ball. So she comes in the game and registers back-to-back strikeouts. Jess Oakland was involved in, arguably, outside of the Grand Slam, the most important play. Ground ball to Savannah Watley at second. Oakland running from first to second. Originally called out on the force. Then the review. The call was overturned, and a short time thereafter, whammo. And the grand slam by Stewart came with 2 out. Wouldn't have even had an opportunity to deliver one without the change of call after the review. Change up, and another hit that isn't a home run, an oddity for Oakland, who's nearly tagged out. She's going to laugh about it a little bit. She got caught and went to the inside of the bag to be safe. So she's 2 for 3 in the game. Generally, it's been a couple of homers. Tonight, it's 2 singles. Cassidy Pickering. Oh, Oakland caught halfway and still on the delayed steal is safe. She's having a bit of an adventure in this inning, but it's all working out for her on the base pass. Just mention how she's involved in the most controversial play in the game. Pickering went around. May have been called a strike anyway. Cassidy grounded out, reached on a fielder's choice, and came home courtesy of Katie Stewart, who she battled tooth and nail against all year. Oklahoma and Texas were the 1 and 2 ranked teams all season long. In fact, the University of Texas going into the College Women's World Series was ranked ahead of Oklahoma. Lindsay Lopez gives up a single. She also strikes out the 3 other batters that she had to deal with. Mexico, see if they can hit the ball as hard as they did in the last inning. But they need more to show for it. Trailing by 5. More University of Texas flavor. Another stellar freshman in Tegan Cavan, who comes in the game to replace Carlin Pickens, who went 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, no runs, struck out 5. And now it's Cavan. She's from West Des Moines, Iowa. Thrown 5 innings so far in the Canada Cup, given up no runs, 3 hits, struck out 12. She was 20-3 and was really the ace of the staff. First team all-freshman, All-American. Remember, very early in the season, in February, had never watched her pitch, but did in a big showdown at UCLA, and didn't take very many innings to understand that this young woman was going to have a chance to do some really good things. Pitched 4 innings against the Saskatchewan 222s opening day. That's her longest outing. Here she is in the 5th with a 5-0 lead. And going down swinging is Alicia Campbell. Tegan Cavan struck out 135 batters in 130 and 2/3 innings in her first year at the University of Texas. They will be very, very difficult to beat again next year. And a good quality swing by Alejandra Casas, who is from California and played at St. Mary's University for the Gales in the Mountain West Conference. Took something off. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kavan. And Miono, who struck out facing Carlin Pickens, trying to keep Mexico alive in the top of the fifth. At the College Women's World Series, she was always in that 67, 68 neighborhood at the highest. Great catch by Jess Oakland. Ranging to her right. Takes one away from Janelle Miono. Everything's going Triple Crown Colorado's way in this 1-2 playoff game for the right to face off against Canada tomorrow at 6 in a winner's bracket final at the Canada Cup. Lindsay Lopez, an impressive first inning in relief of Citlali Gutierrez. Did give up a hit, but struck out 3 batters. And now facing University of Texas star. And she's one of many in this game. Reese Atwood. Atwood looking for her first hit of the night. She's 0 for 2, struck out, and popped up to right fielder Janelle Miono. Change up. And that's arguably Lopez's best pitch. A grand slam home run. Blew it open in the third. Triple Crown Colorado has 6 hits, 5 runs. Like Sharks or Surgeons, they don't waste many hits. Atwood a big swing and a miss on Lopez from Arizona. She's been part of this program now for the last couple of years. And another big cut from Atwood and fouled it off the glove of Alejandra Casas behind home plate. Atwood with really just the one big game, 3 for 4, with 2 runs batted in the showdown with Australia. Outside of that, she's been held in check pretty well. Not an easy chore. Hitless against Saskatchewan, hitless against the Czechs. This'll flare but foul. Been a long day, but a great first day of the playoffs. It will continue tomorrow at 1. And from what I viewed in between innings on the bracket, it would appear the next game will be at 1 between the loser of this game and Israel, who beat the Saskatchewan 222s in a single elimination game earlier today, 4-1. The winner of this game plays Canada in the winner's bracket final tomorrow at 6. So if you win tonight, as Canada did, and Triple Crown Colorado closing in on, you know you'll play on Sunday. The road is more difficult for Australia, who will have what should be a fairly routine time of it, I would think, against the Philippines, although ask Czechia about that after blowing a 3-run lead in the top of the 7th. They made a pitching change. They took out their ace. Cost them, had to put her back in, and gave up 4 in the 7th. The changeup is her best pitch. Reese Atwood just found that out. 4 strikeouts, and she's only faced 5 batters since replacing Citlali Gutierrez, the starter. And now it's Alexis Papillo, who's been on twice and scored twice, and made a pretty good play in left field as well on a rocket off the bat of Savannah Watley to end the 4th. She hit it a ton. Now this is as well as Lopez has thrown all week. And that's a good sign, because if Mexico is going to make a nice run out of what will be the loser's bracket, if you will, they'll need her to be in this kind of form the rest of the way. They'll be favored against Israel. Australia will be in the 3:30 game tomorrow against the Philippines, and then the winner of those 2 games would meet in the 8:30 game here tomorrow night. Another strikeout for Lopez. She had 9 in the tournament coming in. She's got 5 and 6 batters in this game. And here's the difference maker in this one. Katie Stewart from Franklin, Illinois, who blasted a grand slam off of Gutierrez, her Texas University teammate, to left field. And she was headed in that direction again. Not cheated on that swing was Katie Stewart. Wearing the University of Texas batting gloves. Ball and 2 strikes from Lopez. She has been terrific. There's activity down the line. Looks like Yanina Trevino. And another quality hack from Stewart, this time on the rise. See what Lopez does here. The changeup, in many ways, the best pitch and can be the out pitch. But will Stewart sit on it and wait for it? It was a drop that missed, and not by a whole bunch. 2-2 to Katie Stewart, who has her second grand slam of the tournament in this important playoff game. And she drills this up the middle for another base hit. So the first real hard hit ball given up by Lopez. She did give up a base hit earlier to Jess Oakland, but it wasn't hit like that. Ari Roddy's had a great night. She's singled and doubled. If you're Triple Crown Colorado and you could order anything up, you'd like your 13th home run as a team, which would end the game. The change is working well and has her ahead of Ari Roddy in this situation. Goes upstairs and it's fouled off by Charlotte University's Ari Roddy. I wonder if there's any chance she's in the transfer portal. The University of Charlotte. First team softball All-American. And she's dealing with nothing but Lindsay Lopez strikes. A little bit of a different approach. Down 5 on 0-2 counts. You're probably not in the strike zone as much. Roddy just able to keep her bat on it. Going into this appearance, Lindsay Lopez was in the 68% category for first pitch strikes. She works ahead. Cassis a fumble, but able to corral it. And now I know why she's going out. And I know why Lopez is smiling. Because what Cassis was expecting is not what was thrown to home plate. As they talk it out, and the umpire goes to break it up. Both are smiling. Triple Crown Colorado yet to be tested. That may change tomorrow night against Team Canada. Behringer to end the inning. It remains 5-0 for Triple Crown Colorado. University of Texas, Tegan Cavan. And you don't get very many opportunities to watch these types of athletes, although you do every single year at the Canada Cup. It's what makes it so special. So with all the other softball players and the 3 other big tournaments that are part of the Canada Cup, and there's been some great action going on, which I'd actually, if you weren't calling as many games, you wouldn't mind taking a peek at some of the U19 players. There's a game going on just before this one started at another diamond. It was 16-16 late in the game. Abby Larson now into the game. She's a product of the Triple Crown Colorado program. Comes in for Alexis Papillo. Tegan Cavan entered the game in the last inning. Worked a 1-2-3 fifth. Facing Madeline Bejarano, the leadoff batter for Mexico, and has been every day this week. It's rare that she doesn't have a hit in the game, but she doesn't tonight. 0 for 2. And way ahead in the count as Cavan falls behind. No balls, or 3 balls and no strikes. And walks on 4 straight pitches to start the 6th. Bejarano, 7 for 16. She scored 5 runs. Blaze Behringer has one of the 3 hits delivered off of starting pitcher Carlin Pickens. And 2 of those 3 hits came back-to-back from Behringer and Solis in the first. As Mexico stranded 2 runners, and then there have not been a lot of threats after that, although Solis drove one off the wall about 2 feet from leaving her last at-bat. And we're going to have a visit from David King. Has that great slow walk. Making sure that pitcher and catcher are on the same page. That visit didn't last very long. Takes him way longer to get there and leave than it ever did to stay. I think he was there for about 8 seconds. Two balls, no strikes. As Cavan has thrown 6 consecutive balls to start the 6th. Behringer squared. So Cavan having some control issues. That's a strike. So after 7 in a row, finds the strike zone. Action resumes. We'll be down to 6 teams left in the hunt for the title. Championship game slated for 6 o'clock here on Sunday. And personally, I love the way the schedule sets up Sunday with a 1 o'clock semi and then a 6 o'clock final. Cavan works her way back on Blaze Behringer from the University of Arizona in Nogales, Arizona. And pops this out of play. Another full count pitch to Blaze Behringer. Oakland for one. Nice turn by Jackie Lease at second, but the way Behringer runs, it has to be beyond tailor-made to give you an opportunity to double her up. Because the shovel and the turn were excellent. And Solis, who has had a very good night. This looks like the 2023 version of Jillian Solis in this game against this kind of pitching. Single and then a rope that just missed being a home run. You can tell she's feeling it right now. You could throw it at 80 from 43 feet, and it might not get by her. She looks locked in. As Kavan misses outside. Ball and 2 strikes, just the one out. Behringer the runner. And Kavan with a pitch that had Solis off balance. Really good changeup. So Solis is retired for the first time in the game. 3 unassisted. And here's Alyssa Garcia. 0 for 2 tonight with a couple of strikeouts. Both of them courtesy Carlin Pickens, so it's her first crack at dealing with Tegan Kavan. Don't think San Diego State and Texas played this year, but they might have. And she had a good whack at that. A little behind it. Garcia, who's now 5 for 11 in the tournament. She homered in a game versus Israel. And they might play again tomorrow at 1. It looks that way right now. Mexico's had some really good at-bats tonight. But Triple Crown Colorado pitchers not interested in giving up runs in this tournament. Only 1. Oakland from a long way away. And as I mentioned it, they just gave one up. Jess Oakland went a long way into the hole deep to get Garcia. But the throw eludes Ari Roddy over at first. And when it did, Blaze Behringer was able to score from second base. So that should be a hit and an error. Garcia was going to be safe, I believe. And Mexico is on the board in the top half of the 6th inning. Savannah Wysocki comes in to run for Alyssa Garcia. And here's Lena Rebolledo. And Rebolledo hit one deep to center that tested Kaylee Wickoff. And she tried to put one out of here with that swing. And did Rebolledo out of Riverside, California, played at Utah Valley. And she's going up there swinging. Lena, 0 for 2 tonight. 5 for 12 in the tournament with a couple of doubles and 3 runs batted in. Kavan with good velocity and good down movement, but out of the zone. And a good 0-2 pitch. So the pinch runner, Wysocki, at second. As Kavan worked in on the hands that time against Lina Rebaero. She played for Mexico in the 2023 Pan Am Games. She was here at the Canada Cup. Closed out her college career at Utah Valley in 2022. Hit .322 there during those years. Batted in 109 runs. Four and 1 Mexico against 5-0 Triple Crown Colorado. Kavan does have strike 3 after the appeal. Mexico breaks the shutout. It's only the second run in this, their sixth game, given up by Triple Crown Colorado.
Welcome to the 2024 Canada Cup, brought to you by the Canadian Amateur Sports Society. Our not-for-profit organization is dedicated to ensuring that every deserving child can fully enjoy multi-day sports camps without any limitations. Join us in making a difference. Sign up for these life-changing camps or become a sponsor today. Together, let's celebrate the unifying power of sport. Visit CanadaCup.com.
In her second consecutive Canada Cup. She's from Newburgh, Indiana. And like James Taylor sang, up on the roof goes the ball. We've had a couple come into the booth on the rebound. Last year I had a ball here knock my iPad right away. Beeringer in time. Excellent hands and a very strong throw by third baseman Blaze Beeringer. Jackie Lease is retired. So that'll help build the confidence of Yanina Trevino, and we're going to have a shortstop change as Marlene Espinoza in for Jillian Solis, who has 2 hits tonight of the 4 that Mexico has achieved. They scored the run on a hit and an error to shortstop Jess Oakland, who may be in hindsight, but you can take some chances. Why not when you're up by 5 runs? Sarah Gordon about to bat, the Triple Crown Colorado catcher, is the umpire Gregorio Carletti from Italy. And there you hear it officially, what was just passed along. Marlena Espinoza has played a lot of second base and shortstop, with the emergence offensively of Savannah Watley in this tournament. It's kind of taken away from some of her playing time. One out for Sarah Gordon, who's 0 for 2 in the game, grounded out and then struck out against Lindsay Lopez in the fourth. Two balls and no strikes to Gordon. And Trevino throwing well. Certainly the velocity is pretty good. Come on, Yanni, they yell from the dugout. She's 22 years of age. She's pitched 4 1/3 in this tournament coming into tonight. She's appeared in 3 different games, given up 5 runs on 4 hits, struck out 2, walked 3. Gordon, and Espinoza doesn't have to wait long for her first touch at shortstop, and makes the play effectively. And David King is going to make a change himself. And that's youngster Gracie Flores. She's from Berthoud, Colorado. She redshirted as a freshman, so attended part of the program, didn't play at Louisiana Tech. Massive high school career. Batted .466 in her final high school season. 2 out for Flores, who has appeared a few times defensively. She has 1 at-bat, 0 for 1. That at-bat occurred in a game versus Greece. Playoff action continues tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. Trevino change-up that Flores is well ahead on. Difficult when you play a whole week, and this is just your second at-bat. And time is called. Look like by the home plate umpire. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. Team Canada in what was, I would suggest, arguably the game of the tournament so far. Showdown with Australia, 2 countries who will make their way to Italy for the World Cup of women's softball that begins on July the 15th. And Canada wins it 4-3 in 2 extra innings. Third strike is dropped, and the throw is offline. And there's a new catcher in the game for Mexico. Alexia Lopez has replaced Alejandra Casas. And we have an out. David King doesn't agree, and I'm actually wondering myself about the ruling. first base umpire is Casey Coleman from the United States. No, David's not going to let this go, I don't think. I'd like to see it again if I possibly could, and if we have it. I'm not sure if we do. And we don't. So it seemed to be a strikeout that got away from the catcher. And the throw certainly wasn't in time to get the runner. We do have it. I don't even know what the controversy is. So maybe, Luciano, is there a way to go back, take one more look, but let it go to see if it's maybe she ran back in and got tagged? That's the only thing I can think about. So swings and misses, pass ball. Stepped on the white bag, which is fine. Let's see if it stays long enough. We'll let it go, let it go. Maybe we can speed it up just a little bit. I don't know if we can. Okay, so she turns. And they waited for the tag. So it had to be that she stepped on the white bag rather than the orange bag. But I thought that the white bag was in play. And potentially maybe she was tagged on the way back. We didn't have quite the finish to it. Well, the runner's gone back again, so maybe we're not done this argument yet. Well, we've had a few of these lengthy, controversial scenarios today in the playoffs, none more so than a lengthy review in our first game of the day. In a 3-3 tie, Czechia and the Philippines, as Czechia blew a 3-0 lead going to the 7th. And it looks like Triple Crown Colorado is going to eventually win the argument, which didn't really seem to be in question when the play originally happened. So I think they did get it right. And now is Trevino going to get a couple of pitches to warm up with, even though we're still in the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 out. And here comes Jess Oakland, who has 2 more hits, but they're not home runs. Coming into the game, she had 6 hits in the tournament. 5 of them were homers. And 2 or 3 were just towering high drives. But she's has a couple of hits, and now she gets plunked. So after all that delay, Jess Oakland on for a 3rd time as she gets hit by the pitch. So she's still 2 for 3. Five to 1, Triple Crown Colorado, inching, and at this point really inching, closer to a winner's bracket final date with Canada tomorrow at 6. The winner of that game advances directly to Sunday's championship final. So it's not a complete double knockout for the teams that finished first and second in their respective pools, because you can, as Triple Crown Colorado found out, go right through, be undefeated until the championship game, lose only one game to someone that had lost one game or even more and not win the tournament. That happened in just quite a final weekend in 2022. They beat the United States national team, Triple Crown Colorado, twice. Once in the round robin and in the winner's bracket final, only to lose to the U.S. national team in the title game. Just eludes catcher Lopez behind home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The University of Oklahoma's national champion outfielder Cassidy Pickering from Humble, Texas. Still lots of chatter as we have passed the 11 o'clock Pacific time mark. First game started at 1. Great changeup from Trevino to get Pickering. Well, the inning's over now. And if you're Triple Crown Colorado, you hope the game ends in 3 more outs. They're up by 4.
Welcome to the 2024 Canada Cup, brought to you by the Canadian Amateur Sports Society. Our not-for-profit organization is dedicated to ensuring that every deserving child can fully enjoy multi-day sports camps without any limitations. Join us in making a difference. Sign up for these life-changing camps or become a sponsor today. Together, let's celebrate the unifying power of sport.
Triple Crown Colorado, like Mexico, now about to use their third pitcher. Carlin Pickens started, went a strong 4 innings. Tegan Cavan came in for a couple, and now another national champion at the University of Oklahoma, Kirsten Deal, comes on as she looks to close things out with a 5-1 lead. The pitching staff has only given up 2 runs in 6 games. She pitched 3 innings against Greece earlier in the week. No runs, no hits, struck out 6, didn't walk anyone. She was 14-1 at the University of Oklahoma. 68 strikeouts, 22 walks. In her third appearance at the College Women's World Series, she took the loss in a setback to Florida. Savannah Watley, a running swing as she moved up in the batter's box. And quickly, Kirsten Deal doing just that, dealing a couple of strikes. Triple Crown Colorado, 5 runs, 7 hits. They committed an error. Mexico, 1 run, 4 hits, and they've committed an error. It has been fascinating to watch this week how Triple Crown Colorado just rarely ever misses out on an opportunity. And Kirsten Deal comes in, makes an impact, striking out Oakley, California's Savannah Watley, a player at Oregon State University in Corvallis, Oregon. Alicia Campbell, the first baseman. She played at Oregon State as well. Deal took something off that pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Or maybe the count is just 1-1 to Alicia Campbell. I think it's 1-1. Deal misses outside. And now she misses down. And it is indeed 3 balls and 1 strike to Alicia Campbell, who has just 2 hits in the tournament. Both of them scored runs. And a high pop-up behind home plate. Again, up on the roof. So Israel, 4-1 winners over the Saskatchewan 222s, await the loser of this game in that bracket. And Mexico is 2 outs away. And Campbell launches one to center off the glove of Wyckoff. And Mexico not ready to go quite yet. Pretty good read by Wyckoff in center and just off of her glove. Always difficult. You need to be aware of the fence. So Campbell at second. And the batter is the new catcher, Alexia Lopez. Kirsten Deal, the third pitcher. Boy, Carlin Pickens, couple of 74s on our radar tonight. She came out smoking. But one of the turning points in the game was in the top of the first when Mexico had back-to-back hits but then stranded 2. Triple Crown Colorado 1 in the second. And then a controversial play. A call was overturned after review. And a couple batters later, Katie Stewart hit a grand slam home run. That's the difference. And that at-bat doesn't occur without the change in the original call in that same inning. Here's the 2-2 to Lopez, and she hit it hard. Got around on it in a hurry. She's 20 years of age, is Alexia Lopez from Eastvale, California. She was here last year as well, 4 for 18 in a more prominent role. But Mexico has really upgraded their lineup for this year's event. Roddy in time, a little tap dance. And now Triple Crown Colorado is 1 out away from joining Canada tomorrow at 6 in a winner's bracket final. Both teams would be a perfect 6-0, although I must say, it's been a much more difficult road, certainly through the round robin. Canada had their most difficult test tonight, and it was just that. A seesaw affair that required not one but two extra innings before Canada won it 4-3 in the ninth. Don Bodrug, excellent in relief. And Morgan Rackle was very good to start the game. Kaya Parnaby threw 8 great innings for Australia. Now it's down to the last strike for Janelle Miono. Keep fighting. The fine outfielder from the University of California at Los Angeles, better known as UCLA. And it does get down. Abby Larson couldn't get to it. She replaced Alexis Papillo in left a couple of innings ago. And that scores the second run as Alicia Campbell crosses home. So an RBI from Janelle Miono. And one more hit, and this game gets a little more interesting. And at the top of the order, they're capable. This is Madeline Bejarano, 0 for 2, and is walked. Had a big turn, twist, and cut at that. Drop ball from Kirsten Deal. Well, we've had lots of drama today. Upstairs, but high and tight. Ball and 2 strikes again, Mexico. Down to their last strike. Bejarano with 7 hits in the tournament. Can she extend it? We'll be back with you again tomorrow as the playoffs continue at 1. Game's at 1, 3:30. That game is set. Australia and the Philippines. Canada plays the winner of this game in the winner's bracket final. And Mexico trying to avoid a rematch with Israel from the round robin, which they won 9-3. Full count. Game, set, match. Triple Crown, Colorado, a heavy favorite, along with the likes of Canada and Australia. All 3 of them thought to have the best chance to win the Canada Cup title in 2024, and they'll play Canada after downing Mexico 5-2. Hope you enjoyed it. It was quite a day at Softball City. So long. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow afternoon.
for the latest in softball innovation. The website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball. On demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now. SoftballPremierTV.com.